You take a grave risk in trusting me.
I had hoped prayer might cleanse me of the Desire Demon's touch, but I still hear her voice so clearly. I feel like I've bathed in filth that will never come off.
You acted honorably. Why are you ashamed?
The demon didn't lie. I used to be bitterly jealous of my brother. I wanted to be prince. Now everything he had is mine. And he lies in ashes. I keep asking myself, do I want this because it's right? Or simply to have what I never thought I could?
Aren't you your parents' heir?
I'm the youngest son of 3. My parents were rather traditional. They wanted the heir and the spare, and I was left in the cold. They put me in the chantry to prevent my competing with my brothers.
You seem very dedicated to the Chantry. You were put there against your will?
At first. But it was the best thing that could have happened. I was a wild boy, a shame to my family. The Chantry made me a man. It's odd. When I wanted to rule, I would have been terrible at it. Now that I might be decent, I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
Don't let the demon make you doubt yourself.
In trying to retake Starkhaven, I have already brought death to so many. Could I ever do enough good as prince to justify that?
You could be a just and fair ruler.
I know you've done great things in Kirkwall, Hawk. I imagine your methods haven't always been scrupulous. But you clearly do more good than harm. I just don't know if I can follow that road.
I think this is yours.
My grandfather's bow, but where did you get it?
One of the Flint Company mercenaries had it.
Thank you. It's hard to mourn the loss of a thing while my family lies dead. But I did think of it.
What's the story behind that bow?
As the youngest son, it was my place to lead Starkhaven's militia. But I never had a talent for swordplay. Too much getting hit. My grandfather said the bow is the wise man's weapon. You can defend your city without opening its gates. Grandfather said the day I could pull the string on his bow, it would be mine.
Then why didn't you have it with you?
I was 13 when my grandfather made me that promise. I would rise at dawn to practice my shots until I could hit the eye slit of a helmet from the top of the ramparts. But my parents pledged me to the Chantry before I could show him.
Were you and your grandfather close?
He was a man of the world, Prince of Starkhaven. But he had the most unshakable faith in the Maker. When my parents threatened to pledge me to the Chantry, he told me he'd gladly trade his title for a life of contemplation. The Maker ordained a place for each of us, I remember him saying. We have only to serve.
I'm sorry I never got a chance to meet them. To save them.
I know. You're a true friend, Hawk. You brought me this to remember and honor them. But if I could bring back our lowest servant by snapping it in half, I'd do it without regrets.
And here I thought the Chantry was against mind reading.
Did something happen to you in the Circle? I understand there were problems in Ferelden.
Are you saying a mage can only be unhappy in the Circle if demons are involved? No. It's not about Aldred. It's not about being beaten or raped by a Templar. That does happen. But I've been fortunate. It's a larger principle. The freedom every man, woman, and child born in Thedas have as a natural right.
You were given to the Circle. I was given to the Chantry. Hawke was driven away from home by the Darkspawn. None of us are free.
This is the only place in Kirkwall I feel safe.
I thought you might like this.
You got me a gift. I hardly think I've done anything to deserve that. Is it a... That's a Tevinter Chantry amulet. Do you want me to get executed? It's sacrilege to wear those in any land under the Divine.
The Divine condemned their chantry because it freed mages from the Circle. I thought you might sympathize.
I like it. Maybe not on the outside of my clothes. I'm not that eager to face the hangman's noose. But I appreciate the thought. I've never really thought about what life would be like in the Tevinter Chantry. In the Circle, they make it sound like the Void itself. The Black Divine stalking Thedas, making it unsafe for kittens and virgins.
Those kittens and virgins will just have to find a nice strong mage to protect them.
From what I hear about the Tevinters, that's the last thing they'd want. The virgins, anyway. I've never heard about any horrific kitten rituals. I appreciate the gift. Perhaps one day I can return one as meaningful. Is that supposed to be Andraste's face on your crotch?
What?
That belt buckle thing. Is that Andraste?
My father had this armor commissioned when I took my vows as a brother.
I'm just not sure I'd want the Maker seeing me shove his bride's head between my legs every morning.
Isabella, my dusky goddess, you have buried yourself in the flesh of my heart like a worm in a red, red apple. You heartworm, you.
Oh, look, my friend is here. Excuse me.
But I haven't gotten to the part where I invite you to feast upon my tender white flesh.
That's all right, I think I'll manage. Speaking of romance, you, Anders, and Justice. That must be exciting. As they say, two's company, but three is better.
I enjoy being with Anders. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
We know about Anders. What about Justice? Does he not get involved? Or perhaps he thinks you're too good of a person and isn't willing to smite you. That would be a shame, wouldn't it? Everyone deserves a good smiting now and then. I could use one right this minute.
I have something for you.
Ooh, what's this? Oh, isn't that just the cutest thing?
I saw it and thought it would be perfect for you.
It is. This is probably the only ship I'm going to have for a while. How pathetic is that? Going over a model ship. Thank you, Hawke. This was a thoughtful gesture.
Slow day. No.
Hawke, I've got some news. You might not want to be near anything breakable when I tell you, though.
Varric, whatever you have to tell me, it'll be fine.
I know. I've had an ear out for Bartrand. After the Deep Roads, he ran to Ravane, probably because he knew I couldn't track him. But I hear he might be back in Kirkwall. He called in loans from a few of his contacts in Hightown.
Was he staying in Hightown, or just passing through?
If my information is good, and it's always good, he has a house there. Which gives us a good shot at having a word with my dear sweet brother.
How are you holding up, Varric?
Me? My no-account backstabbing brother is practically in arm's reach. I couldn't be better.
Would Bartrand really risk coming back here?
I think we both know by now that Bartrand would risk anything for money. There's a much better market here for that trinket he stole, and all his contacts are in Kirkwall.
We need some answers from your brother.
I agree. Bianca's been missing him something awful. Let's stop by his new house. Welcome him back to the neighborhood and all that.
Face it, you don't pay me enough to stay so long.
This house looks abandoned.
I don't get it. My sources saw people making deliveries here just a week ago. This looks like it's been empty for months.
This is still our best lead. We might find something that'll take us to Bartrand.
My thoughts exactly. So that's how you greet your brother, is it, Bartrand? Fine. Say hello, Bianca.
Don't give him an inch!
Bartrand! I'm coming for you, you nut-humping bastard! You want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? I'll take you all! Bianca, you think? That was beautiful! Bartrand! I'm coming for you, you nut-humping bastard! Another one for Bartrand! I'm coming for you, you nut-humping bastard! Line them up for me! I'll take you all! I'll take you all! I'll take you all! Aim for the crowd! You want a piece of me? You're pathetic! You want a piece of me? That was the beauty of a shot! Let's dance, you sons of bitches!
Oh, Varric, please forgive me, my brother. I was just jealous of you. How could I ever compete with you for Mother's love?
You're strong and handsome, and so very smart. What?
Why lie now about this? What have you to gain?
What do you want from me? I broke in, I found my brother, and it was awkward. Family business.
No. I think there's more to it.
Fine. You want the gory details? I'll give you the gory details.